Senator Trump, you saved my college. And I said, how the hell do you know that? She said, this one is so smart, so sharp. She grabbed me. She gave me a kiss. I said, I think I'm never going back home to the First Lady.
It's great. And when it comes to getting off the Democratic plantation, that's a real thing. And I don't know why somebody would feel like I, myself, would be offended by that.
Donald Trump is about to break the internet again.
If everybody thinks the same, has been fear-mongered into thinking the same way, living the same way, then yes, that's a plantation. Because how in the world were so many slaves who outnumbered their slave masters continuing to be slaves? It happened because they were fearful of doing something different.
For a rally.
Thanks to Kamala Harris's tie-breaking vote here in Atlanta, you suffered the highest inflation of any city in the country last year. Good job, Governor. Great job, Governor.
So when we say that Democrats are on this Democratic plantation, specifically talking about black people, it's because, yes, you guys are all blindly following a leader and you're scared to do something different. Additionally, to think that somebody like myself, who can clearly articulate their points, their opinions, their life experience that have led them to support certain candidates, it's very interesting that somebody would demean C-SPAN for having a guest like me on TV. There's plenty of people who think, act, and wish that a voice like mine had a bigger platform. So it's unfortunate that people like that feel like we should be silenced.
All right, let's talk to Ladley in Marietta, Georgia, Democrat. Good morning.
Yes, I did not know that you knew Candace Owens. Because she's pretty much been outcasted by the right because of her stances on Israel. But anyway, you will have a good job at Fox News at some point. I guarantee you that. And the things you pointed out of the Democrats for their failures, you're absolutely right on some of the things. The Democrats fall short, but at least we try. The Republican policies are just the complete opposite, okay? Last thing I want to say, they're never going to let you in the club, okay? And you're like the movie Django, you are the character of Samuel L. Jackson. I don't know the exact, terminology, but, not Uncle Tom, but, Uncle Tommy, or, you're a complete sellout.
All right, and we'll go to Robert in...
Oh, I can't respond to that?
Oh, yes, you can.
Thank you very much. Because first of all, it sounded like that was a non-black person telling me that. So as a Democrat, that sounds pretty racial and pretty divisive. Next, it's very interesting that I, again, would be called names or be compared to fictional characters because of who I choose to support. Again, these people who are calling and making these derogatory statements about me, who I choose to support, are denying the fact that, again, who are you to tell me that my personal experience is invalid? I think that that's something that a lot of Democrats need to look within, because how have you tried? Kamala Harris is in office right now and has not tried to do anything about the border, has not tried to not tax people on tips, and has not tried to do anything about our failing education system. So everything that she's promising she can do for you on day one, she could do right now, but she's not trying to. So that's something to, for some Dems to take home.
Robert in Aurora, Indiana, Republican. Good morning.
Yes, sweetheart. Miss Montgomery, I commend you, sweetheart. You are telling the truth. I want to tell you a little bit about me. I'm 87 years old. I went for my physical. I didn't pass, but my dad served World War II. My uncle fought the Battle of Bulge. Back when I was a kid, we had black people working for us. There is colors, black, white, red, you name it, yellow. They ate at our table. They didn't have to go out in a barn or a shed or sit on the porch to eat. They ate with the family. And anybody that wants to do anything for their life, work for it. Work for it. There's jobs out here. They want to put Trump down, and he's worked his. Who would take a shot for this country? Who would take a shot for this country? And he wasn't in the military, no. But he did take a shot for this country, and it almost killed him. And you idiots out there that can't see that this man wants to do right for this country. He loves his country. He loves the people.
All right.
Vote for him.
All right, Robert. Go ahead, Michaelah.
I wholeheartedly agree with the sentiment that if you want something, you have to work for it. Again, I moved out to Atlanta 10 years ago with 2 suitcases and $1,500. Not an idea what I was going to do. No family. No, I don't have parents that went to college. I was literally on my own and I had to figure it out. I worked 3 jobs to get through college. Then I got pregnant. So unfortunately, I did not finish. But then I was like, wow, instead of sitting here and waiting on government assistance to come and help me take care of me and my kid, what can I do to therefore uplift us and make it so that I have the freedom to raise my child and not worry about money? And that's, of course, when I invested all of my time into Conserve the Culture and grew it into a business that allowed me to take care of my daughter. So I can't go for the complaints. I can't go for the excuses. I can't go for the woe is me. I wholeheartedly agree that if you want something bad enough, you are going to work your ass off to get it.
Aaron, independent in Upper Marlboro, Maryland.
Harris is a radical trans activist, and she is the candidate of letting men beat up women in the name of tolerance. But you look at what's happening over in Paris, it will never happen here. I will never let it happen.
You have a female nominee for president of the United States, of the free world, and this is one of the biggest gender controversies of the year in the Olympics. And Kamala Harris hasn't said anything, and she hasn't even been asked about it. And that's a cover-up. And that's a real shame. Cricket.
Just days after Kamala Harris's rally in Atlanta with the very famous Meg Thee Stallion, Quavo, and a number of other rappers. But here we have Donald Trump in Atlanta. And what you're about to witness, guys, is a black woman stand up on stage side by side with Donald Trump. And what she does here, ladies and gentlemen, is absolutely remarkable. And at the end of it, she leaves the crowd on their feet in a standing ovation. By the way, guys, thank you guys so much for always hitting the like button. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. And thank you for sharing these videos on Facebook and Twitter.
I brought him up because I thought he was going to give it to me. He didn't give it. He just got me to sign it. I got nothing out of that. Hey, Michaelah, I know you spoke. Just come up for a second. Come on. This young woman, I walked into, I don't know what the hell restaurant it was, but I walked into this restaurant.
Was it Chick-fil-A?
And we do it very quietly. We don't announce it. That's for, security reasons, everything. I walked in. She's behind the counter, and she didn't know I was coming. And she goes, "It's President Trump." She looks at me, "It's President Trump. You saved my college." And I said, "How the hell do you know that?" She said, "This one is so smart, so sharp." She grabbed me. She gave me a kiss. I said, "I think I'm never going back home to the First Lady."
You're supposed to keep that quiet.
See, now, for the average politician, that's death. For me, I don't care. I just want to tell you, you are an unbelievable person with a great personality. You lit up the whole room. You lit up the whole room. I said...
Trump keeping it real.
Weeks later, I'd go, "Who is that person that was so incredible?" She knew everything about me. She had no idea I was coming. She knew everything about me. And the historically black colleges and universities, I gave millions and millions, billions of dollars to. They kept coming back, and I said, "Why are you doing this?" And we gave them long-term funding. And she knew that because she said her college, she loved her college. She said it was so great, right? You loved it.
The illustrious CAU.
Yeah, that's right. She loved her college, and she said, "You saved my college." What was your college? Tell them.
The illustrious Clark Atlanta University.
The illustrious.
And it was so impressive, and I felt so good because she really did. She really said, I said, "Did you like the college?" She said, "No, I loved that school. I loved that college." And that's what it's all about. But you are an incredible person. I think you have a tremendous future. I really do. And I'll do whatever I can to help you. Okay? Thank you, Dan. Thank you very much. Great job. You want to say something else?
Man, I thought I was done.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I thought Donald Trump was racist. I mean, what's going on? I'm not seeing the racist behavior that a lot of people were saying that was, typical of Donald Trump.
Thank you very much. Great job. You want to say something else?
Man, I thought I was done. I do want to add on to some of the remarks that were made by others, and we do need to do our best to get the message out there. The fight is nothing if all we do is talk about it amongst ourselves. So with that being said, since you said you'd help me, shameless plug, if y'all need anybody to knock doors, make phone calls, wave signs, get people out to the polls, call me at Conserve the Culture. Because not only do I mobilize the HBCU students so that they may get this message, but I'm the best person when it comes to black engagement in the black community. And nobody needs this message more than my folks. So do y'all care for real? Are y'all with us for real?
She leveraged the opportunity. Trump.
ConserveTheCulture.com for any and all inquiries. Y'all can follow me at Miss Kayla, baby. I'm going to give it back to Big T.
What? Big T. Now, I got to hand it to her because a lot of people, when they have an opportunity like this, would not be ready. I'm sorry. A lot of people just wouldn't be ready. She had everything ready to go to capitalize on this remarkable opportunity. I mean, she's in front of millions of people, not only just the crowd here, but across the United States and likely even the world. When Donald Trump gets on stage to speak at any of his rallies, they get millions of views. So this is an unprecedented level of eyeballs and attention to her business, to her cause, and for awareness. So big shout out to Michaelah here.
Last thing, make sure you guys tune in to my podcast dropping soon on the Patriots Prayer Network. Thank you all.
Wow. The fact, I mean, she's very articulate, pretty girl. She was ready to go. And the fact that she had so many different things going, she got her podcast shouted out to millions of people for free. She got to hang out with Donald Trump. She's basically essentially got Donald Trump's endorsement. This is a black woman that I think is definitely a superstar in the making. And this is probably someone that I think that Donald Trump should consider, an opportunity within his cabinet or to utilize her abilities, her capabilities in some capacity. She does have the podcast. She did indicate that she's got the ability to reach out to the black community. And this is what Trump needs right now in terms of, granted, Trump's popularity is definitely high. It's been higher than it has been in a very, very long time. But having the grassroots, boots on the ground connections like Michaelah clearly has definitely could help Trump tremendously. Especially in the state of Georgia. This is Atlanta, Georgia that this Trump rally is taking place in. This is the same Georgia, Atlanta, where Kamala Harris was just a couple of days ago. So it's time to turn the tide.
She's great. Thank you. That's a great person, great woman. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We are going to rebuild our cities into beacons of hope, safety, and beauty better than they have ever been before. We will take over the horribly run capital of our nation in Washington, D.C., and clean it up, renovate it, rebuild our capital city so there's no longer a nightmare of murder and crime. We're going to stop the murder and crime. You go down from your state, you end up getting mugged, murdered in our capital. It'll be run tough and strong by our great police officers, but rather we will become the most beautiful capital anywhere in the world. I could say again, but it's been so badly run for so long, I almost don't want to say again. On day one, I will sign a new executive order to cut federal funding for any school pushing critical race theory, transgender insanity, and other inappropriate racial, sexual, or political content onto the shoulders of our children.
Get it out of there.
I will not give one penny to any school that has a vaccine mandate or a mask mandate. And I will keep men out of women's sports, if that's okay. If Kamala Harris gets in, the travesty that is taking place at the Paris Olympics will come to America when we host the Los Angeles Olympics. And by the way, which I was president, we happened to get it. I was the president. I also got you a thing called the World Cup, which is coming very soon.
Wow.
From the moment we take back the White House from Kamala and Crooked Joe, and he's crooked as a $4 bill, I believe we're going to have the 4 greatest years in the history of our country. Starting on day one, we will end inflation and make America affordable again. We're going to make it affordable again. Thanks to Kamala Harris's tie-breaking vote here in Atlanta, you suffered the highest inflation of any city in the country last year. Good job, Governor. Great job, Governor. Under Kamala, the typical Georgia family has lost $28,000 in inflation and to inflation hikes. To bring down the prices of all goods, we will stop the Biden-Harris war on American energy. American energy is such a big deal. We will drill, baby, drill. We'll get that number down. We'll bring energy prices down. Everything else will float with it.
Let's get those gas prices down.
The Green New Scam, and I will end the Biden-Harris electric vehicle mandate right on day one. It will be ended. We will pass massive tax cuts for workers, and that includes no tax on tips, Michaelah.
Ooh. No taxes on tips. Ladies and gentlemen, this is huge.
To further protect Georgia workers, I will revoke China's most favored nation's trade status. I will pass the Trump Reciprocal Trade Act. If China or any other country makes us pay a 100 or 200% tariff, we will make them pay a reciprocal tariff of 100 or 200% right back. You heard us, we heard you. It's an eye for an eye.
Wow.
Taking a fortune, and they'll stop doing it before I even arrive at the Oval Office shortly after we win the presidency. I will have the horrible war between Russia and Ukraine settled, and I will prevent, and I'm the only one that's going to do it.
He called it.
100% will prevent World War III, which is very close to happening. I will restore peace through strength, and in my next term, we will build a great Iron Dome missile defense shield over our country, a dome like none other, like nobody has ever seen before, and it will all be made in the USA, and much of it will be made in the great state of Georgia.
Wow.
And I will not cut 1 cent from Social Security or Medicare. I kept that promise 4 years ago, and I will keep it again. And seniors will not pay taxes on Social Security.
Wow. A lot of people were asking about Donald Trump's stance on Social Security. They were trying to eat him up about his policies. He's talking policies. He's talking Social Security. You know, we've heard from the liberals, from the Democrats. They were saying Donald Trump was going to be cutting Social Security, this, that, and the other. I think Trump pretty much cleared the air just now on Social Security and taxes paid by seniors on their Social Security checks.
I might as well say it myself because nobody else will say it. But I got them both, and you're going to have a lot of fun with it, I hope. Harris is a radical trans activist, and she is the candidate of letting men beat up women in the name of tolerance. But you look at what's happening over in Paris, it will never happen here. I will never let it happen. I will get all males off your daughter's soccer teams and volleyball teams and get them out of your locker rooms once and for all. That's going to be cleaned up, and we will fight to make sure that the LA Olympics protects women and protects girls.
By the way, guys, thank you guys so much for always hitting the like button. Thank you for subscribing to the channel, and thank you for sharing these videos on Facebook and Twitter.